All right. Hope all of you tried accessing your Google Classroom um, and marked your attendance. Right. The Did you select today's date for to mark your attendance? Some might have selected some other date. If that is the case, please reach out to me so that we can sort it out. Reach out to me separately so that we will have to find out how to rectify that. Attendance is something which my department is taking little interest in. So I would prefer all of you to. Yes, Gopi. Yeah, it is in Google Classroom. You'll have to log into your Google Classroom and then select your class. There is an option, there is a link that is provided, which is, I think, mark your attendance. You need to go in. There is a Google form that will open up. Enter your details, your name, your register number. You need to select the date, and then you'll have to select present, and then submit. Once you do that, you're done with the attendance. You do that right now. Okay. All right. Yes, sorry. Haripriya. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Every day you can access it just once. So if Haripriya, you have marked your attendance for yesterday, this morning, then you will only be able to open tomorrow to give your attendance for today. So yeah, so every day, no problem in that. But then every day you will have to mark your attendance for the previous day. Yeah. I hope all of you are done with your attendance. Let's proceed. I saw a lot of people showing interest in uploading your resumes yesterday. If you haven't done already, please do it by today. All right. So we will have to start from where we left. We are talking about resume writing. So when you come up with uh, your resumes, when you're writing your resumes, when you submitted your resumes, you would have faced a lot of doubts yourself. If in case there are any clarifications related to that, I would suggest you guys to raise the queries right away. You don't have to wait for me to give you time for that. You can stop me right now and start asking questions about that. Once we get through that, then we'll start with the next topic. As of now, I would request you to please ask as many questions as possible. If you have, let's say, Praveen, you're wrong. I got an information that this is not right. You are saying something completely wrong. You can also accuse me of being wrong, which is fine. But then it's absolutely vital for you to open your mouth and speak up, come up with your clarifications or suggestions, and even if I'm wrong, please mention that. Not every time I will be correct. None of us will be correct all the time. So let me know. Yes, Khadija. Okay. Okay. So internships, seminars, and all those things, you don't have to explain. You don't have to give the objective. You don't have to give what was achieved out of it. You just have to mention the name or a topic, and then maybe the duration or the time. Let's say July 2019. Just mention that. If there is a question raised during an interview, then you can explain. Even if there is a failure in terms of a project that you have undertaken, but then the project failed, even then you can mention that when you're asked about it in an interview, then you can talk about it. You can tell them this is what you did. There was a failure. We faced a lot of challenges, but then these are the things that I learned from these things. So even failures you can mention, not a negative thing. A failure is not negative all the time, but then you don't have to go on explaining everything in the resume. Then it becomes a CV, not a resume. So a resume needs to be short, but then it can carry those information. Your as you said, your projects and everything. You can do workshops and everything. You can mention them. Don't go on explaining. Don't give the objective what you achieved. Don't write everything. That's what I mean. All right. Any other questions, guys? You there? Right. Okay. Yeah. Yes. 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 Go on. See, the reason you need to have a proof is what if they doubt you, right? So there is not always, a human being, who's really going to believe everything and whatever we say. So that is a probability. But then, if there is a genuine instance where you have participated in a workshop, you've done a project, but then there is a possibility that you lost the certificates or you didn't receive the certificates yet, and there could be millions of such reasons. You can mention them. Obviously, you can mention them. But then, when you give the answers, when the HRs at least, a good HR will be in a position to infer or understand if you are lying to them or if you are being genuine, right? So you don't have to worry about sharing an information which is true in your resume. It's absolutely okay. But then, if you don't have a certificate, that is something which you can mention later during an interview stage. You can tell them why exactly you don't have a certificate, but then it's okay to include those things in a resume. That's absolutely fine because you're not lying, right? Yesterday we discussed this point. We should not lie to lie in the resume, but it's okay. There are issues like this where you would have lost your certificate, where you would have missed out on your certificate somewhere. You would, millions of reasons. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. But then it has to be genuine, right? You can't lie about it. That is it. Okay. Okay. Mm. Yeah, you can. You can. Just just that you need to, mention, what is the level of knowledge you possess. See, what happens is in your resume you mention, C plus plus, right? So what will the interviewer think about it in the first place? The interviewer might go in his or her head that, okay, here is a person with technical brilliance in C plus plus. Okay, so then that person might start asking questions related to that, and if your knowledge is intermediate, and if the interviewer is asking you at a different level, right? So there is a problem then. So you'll have to mention what is the level of knowledge that you gathered during the course of your in the course, what the online course that you taken. You can mention that online courses. When did you mention the duration? So so that is absolutely fine. You can mention, but then just mention, yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay. It's absolutely okay. See, imagine this scenario. There are people in corporate world working without their 10th plus 2 certificates. Are you saying, or you and I saying that there is no way a person with 10th or 12th certificate missing, or they there was a fire and the certificate got burnt? Do you mean to say that they don't work anywhere? Yeah, that's exactly the point. So you're talking about these certificates that online courses offer, which is absolutely fine. You can still go ahead and mention that in your resume, just that you don't lie about it. If it is genuinely that you attended the course and you gained the knowledge from that, it's absolutely brilliant to mention. It's absolutely okay. Because you and I are from the same world. Let's say I'm the interviewer here and I see your resume, you have mentioned something. and I'm questioning you, how do you have the certificates? And you are telling me, no, it's an online course. We just went through the course with an instructor, and there was no certificates provided. If you are going to tell me this answer, am I going to say என்ன வளர்றீங்களா, சர்டிபிகேட் இல்லாம உலகத்திலே எந்த கோர்ஸும் கிடையாதுன்னு நான் சொல்ல முடியும்? It's absolutely no ridiculous if I say that. So, but then um, your name is Kanimala, right? Kanimala, just yeah, just think about it. Not everyone in the world will be, understanding and accepting whatever you are saying. There will be people who will have doubts all the time, and especially HRs are the worst. They are the most sadistic person, the people that you will find in the world. Exception is me, maybe, but the point is, you you have to be genuine, and if you are genuine, it comes through. When you listen to a person who is genuinely coming up with an answer, we can understand that, we can realize that. See, I think I've spoken about an example when I talk about this, right? Now, when a friend comes late to college, your friend is coming late to college, miss the bus, they come 1 hour late, or they do something which you are saying, "Dey, என்னடா, what did you do?" So here, when the other person, when your friend is explaining the reason, right? இல்ல நான் தூங்கி எந்திரிக்கிறதே லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு, I started late. It could be that, or it could be something else. It could be a girlfriend boyfriend problem. You don't know. But as a friend, when your friend is giving you an answer, when you question them, you will definitely know if that person is making up a story or giving you a genuine answer. You know that. Similarly, HR has uh, an inkling, I think, about if a person is genuinely answering or making up stories. So you don't have to worry about that. If you are genuine, you don't have to worry. You just mention whatever you're saying. You just can't lie. That's the only point. Right. Anything else regarding your resumes? Yes, Gayatri. You may. It's up to you. It is not mandatory to give your picture in your resume. You may choose to. It can be a yes or a no answer. Yeah. See, again, it depends on what kind of job market you are applying to. Let's say if you are applying for a technical job opportunity, then I don't think there is a need for it. But again, if you are applying for a hospitality or a let's say an airlines, right? So where they are looking for a air hostess, something like that, where they do expect your picture there, but obviously in a professional dress code. Yeah. Any other questions related to resume writing, please? Yeah. Yes. See, correct. See, I'm from a corporate background. I've been there for a long time. This is actually new. The institutions are new to me. So what I find is, most of us in the institutions, sorry to say this, we are old fashioned. Okay, so accepting change takes a little time. So objective, if you ask a person from the corporate, is not mandatory in a resume. Okay, you can skip the part. But then if you want to mention an objective, if you Haripriya, you think, no, 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 I have an objective, I'll have to mention that. Then yes, please go ahead. If Haripriya thinks that person has mentioned an objective, I will too mention that. So what I will do, I will Google it, or I will copy paste it from someone else. That is no. That's absolutely no. You don't do that. If you, Haripriya, have an objective in mind, if you think it will help your cause in a resume, please go ahead and mention that. But then, yes, I stand with what I said yesterday. It is becoming old fashioned. But once you are out of the college, no one's going to question you about that. You can choose to say, I'll chuck objectives from now on. I'll only give my resume without objective. You can choose to do that. But in Savita, in college, maybe people will push you to have an objective in your resume. But then awareness is different, practicality is different. This is what I am giving you is awareness. Practically, you will be facing your HOD, you'll be facing the placement officers. Many people will scrutinize your resume. They will come up with different answer for this. You should have objectives, what they might say. But then I'm giving you awareness. That is something which is up to your judgment to decide. Right. Anything else? Nothing? Right. We'll proceed with the next. Is it necessary to have signature and soft copy of resume by scanning the sign? Okay, not mandatory again. Certain companies expect this, many companies don't. So it's better to have a signature in place. Um, but then that's not mandatory. Um, See, when you're submitting a resume, you're just saying this is a proof of my skills. This is what I am. This is my information. You're saying that exactly that, nothing more. You're not even asking for a job through a resume. You're just saying this is my information. The signature just denotes if there is an issue there, I have signed it, and so I can be accounted for that. I'll be accountable for that. That's all it is. So it's actually not mandatory. But then some companies, very few companies, actually expect the resumes to be signed. We may not know which are all the companies that don't want signature, which are the companies which want a signature. So it's obviously go with the safer, option. Have it signed, right? Should we have any kind of declaration at the bottom of the resume? Not necessary again. When you sign it, it itself is a declaration. What could be the declaration, right? You are saying whatever information that I have provided is true to my knowledge. That's a declaration. So you don't have to mention that. யோசிச்சு பாருங்க yo, when you're writing a resume, you'll have to ensure that it is as truthful as possible. Writing a declaration doesn't make any difference if you have lied in, right? So the format doesn't actually expect you to give a declaration. You don't need a declaration actually. Any other questions? Okay. I think yes. Is it right to include our hobbies or interest? Yeah, why not? Why not? But then your hobbies cannot be I like to read. Reading is a habit. Okay, the first question is going to be what are the latest books that you have read? Then you'll come up and say some kind of answer. What if that person knows about the book that you have mentioned? Again, no lying. If you have a hobby, if you have a real hobby, you can mention that. If you think reading is a passion for you, please mention that. But then don't lie about it. Having it is an additional information. Without hobbies or interest, it doesn't make any dent in your CV. Sorry, in your resume. So don't worry about what will I mention. I don't have any hobbies. I just watch TV. Watching TV is not a hobby, guys. So don't mention that as a hobby anywhere. Right. Anything else? Okay. Looks like we have run out of questions for resume. But then it doesn't stop you from asking me questions about any topic over the period of the course, even after that. So please don't hesitate. If you have a question, write a message to me. I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Right. The next thing in agenda is group discussion. All of us would have at some point in our life gone through a group discussion, even you guys. So what is it? What is so special about a group discussion that all the companies use it? Group discussion is a means to understand a person's uh, communication skill, non-verbal, verbal communication skill, both. Your participation, your voluntary participation. If there is a topic given, what is the content that you bring to the table? What is the knowledge you have, you possess, and how good you are when you are, addressing a group? What is the confidence that you bring to the table? These are the things that are assessed. What is your listening capacity? They assess all of these in a group discussion. So when we address the group discussion, these are the points that we need to keep in mind before giving anything, right? So before giving a group discussion, the reason is group discussion is not a technique. It is not a technique used by organizations to filter students. No, it is not a technique to filter students at all. Group discussion is a technique to assess your ability to speak in a crowd, your ability to bring out your points when others are talking, your ability to listen. These are the things that they are, looking for. So don't think group discussion is a filter, a funnel where they put in 10 people and 2 people are selected. No, they look at all these, criterias and then assess all of you. Okay, though I start my group discussion training sessions with this one question always. You are given a topic. What is the first thing that you will do? Right. How do you go about it? How do you think about it? What is the process involved? Right. Right. Okay. Good. What else? Okay. Right. You can do the mind mapping. Right. Mind mapping, in other words, in a colloquial term, what you do is you break down the topic into smaller topics. Make it, divide the topic into many subtopics. That's what you will do. How you do that? For example, look around. You guys are in your home, in your room probably. Just look around, find an object and consider that as your topic. Okay. Now can you do a bisection of the topic? Just divide the topic into various subtopics. Can you do that in your mind? You don't have to tell us. Just in your mind, can you divide the topic into 7 or 8 different subtopics? Can you do that? Yeah. So that's what you will do. Imagine a scenario. You are given a topic. You immediately jump into thinking about the topic itself. Then what happens is there is a possibility that you're stuck with one aspect of the topic, and then you're thinking about more points from there. There is a possibility that this might happen. So you can segregate the topics. You can divide the topics into subtopics. Then you are coming up with a lot of ideas about various other aspects of the topic. For example, in my room there is a fan above me, right? So let's say that's my topic of topic given to me. What will I do? I'll take 10 seconds. I'll just look at the think about the topic and divide it into subtopics: wings, a motor, electricity. See, you can come up with so many other objects. If you find a bed there, think about it. You sleep in it. You sit and fiddle your phone in it. You sit and watch TV in it. Maybe you'll eat in it. You'll dust the bed once in a while. You'll have to clean the bed, make the bed. You'll have to ensure there are no bugs in it. See, think about any topic, come up with subtopics of your of the topic, then you have multiple areas that you can talk about. So I will suggest, if you are not um, if you're not good at it, then please try and divide the topic into subtopics, and then you'll have a lot to talk. And Katija pointed out, she will think about how to talk for or against. So decide on what to speak there. Exactly my point as well. There are group discussions where at the halfway through they will change the course. They'll say whoever were talking for the topic will now speak against the topic, whoever are talking against the topic will now speak for the topic. They will switch it. So what happens then? So we'll have to be prepared for that as well. That is an eventuality, possible eventuality. We'll have to be prepared for that as well. How will we prepare ourselves? That's the selling point. They are looking at your conversation ability, your negotiation skills, your sales skills. That's what they are looking at when they are switching the for and against. If they do that, that's what they are looking for. So you will have to ensure, uh, even though you don't believe in a particular point, you'll have to speak about it. So it is absolutely that you are lying there, but convincingly, lie convincingly. That's what you'll do. Hopefully you'll be able to sell them your like, sell them your like. So that's what you do. Okay, now you got the topic. You're dividing the topic into subtopics. You decide about should I go for or against. Everything is fine. My next question to you is, will you volunteer to go first? Guys, do you volunteer? Yes. Hmm. Yeah, why not? That's what I will also do. But then, what if I don't go first? What can happen? What do you think will happen if I don't see go first? In the sense, I'm not asking you to be the first in the group. I'm just asking volunteer. Why? What if you don't volunteer? What happens then? Okay. How many of you will be nervous in a group discussion? It's a good thing, no? Yeah. All right. See, the reason why I'm asking is, once you start waiting, not physically, right, in your mind. Once you start waiting in your mind, it is very easy for nervousness to creep in. You will have to, at all cost, avoid nervousness. How do you do that? You volunteer. You don't think about, yo, when will my turn come? அப்படிலாம் இருக்கவே கூடாது. You'll be thinking about, okay, I want to go next. I'll somehow raise my hand and make me visible for the moderator to look at me, and then I will speak. Right? That's the attitude you should have. If you have that, nervousness has no place in a group discussion. The longer you wait, then you will obviously end up having a little bit of nervousness, and it will only exponentially grow on you. I hope you understand this term, exponentially grow on you, right? What happens is, the traffic at 7 o'clock in the morning is not that bad. All right, 7:10, it is crampy. 7:20, you know what happens. 7:45, it's a mess. It's not a gradual increase. Similarly, your nervousness, you just need to give it a small bit of place for you in your mind to creep in. But then, it once it has that a small space in your head, it just clears everything out and occupies all your head. So nervousness is something which you should avoid, for which you will have to volunteer yourself. You'll have to be ready with couple of points. You'll have to raise your hand. You'll have to say, I'll have to go next, and then make a point. But then this should not affect your listening ability. What happens is, if you have points and if you truly believe in those points, what happens in your head is you'll want to jump in. Like others are speaking, there is another person speaking in the group discussion. What happens is, you want to speak, so you don't let them finish the talk, finish their chance, finish their sentence. You jump in. This will reflect badly in terms of your listening ability. So you listen intently, but at the same time, once that person is finishing up, just put up your hand and then try to make a point. Don't make it a mess. Don't be messy about it. Just be gracious and accepting. At the same time, be solid when you are talking. So that's how you will end up capturing the attention of the moderator. And eye contact, your eye contact must always be with the moderator, please, the person who is conducting the GD. Yes, of course, you can't do that, அப்படியே கான்ஸ்டன்ட்டா அங்கேயே பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தீங்கன்னா it will be creepy. But the point is, you can look around, you can look at the person who's talking, but always go back to the person who's conducting the GD. Have a proper eye contact with that person, connect, make a connect, so that they will have a connect back at you, and that will increase your chance to get an opportunity easily, rather than that which keeps you waiting. Yes, absolutely, yes. Yes, yes. What if the group discussion, during the group discussion, you're not sitting in a circle, right? What if it's a class environment? How will you look at a person's eye if the person is standing in front of you, right? So that's what I mean. Be practical about it. If you're actually sitting in a circle, then yes, right? But even then, it is not, uh, beyond your capability to have a eye contact then and there with the moderator, right? You look at the person who's speaking and then just move around, just have a eye contact with the moderator as well then and there, which means your objective in a group discussion is to get selected, yeah, to prove that you're good, right? So how will you prove that you're good? No matter what happens, the non-verbal communication skills will always come into the HR's mind. So when the HR is listening intently or looking around, they will look for a person's confidence through eye contact, the body language, and you must give an opportunity for them to see the good body language, good eye contact, good non-verbal communication skill that you possess. You should give that opportunity for them. How will you do that? Don't be creepy, but have an eye contact then and there. That's absolutely important. Yeah. Okay. So now we discussed that we don't wait for our turn. We'll volunteer. Volunteering is absolutely vital. Yes. So what happens then? You volunteer. You raise your hand. You speak. But what if somehow there is a nervousness and or forget about nervousness. Let's say you don't get a chance, right? You're not given a chance, or you're waiting, and then all the points are already taken by others, already spoken by others. You are left with no points, but there is only you now. You don't have a choice but to speak. So how will you go about it now? How will you handle the scenarios, like this? Anyone? Exactly. Right. True. You can even disagree with them, agree or disagree. But Kathy, you're right. um, when you don't have anything to speak, when your points are already taken, then you will agree with the person, you will disagree with the person, you will point out that Mr. Praveen said something like this, so I totally agree with that. The reason is, that's it. What will you do here? What is the one thing that you will do here? Agree and don't repeat the same sentence that person spoke. You change the sentence, you use couple of different words in the sentence. That way you're saying I agree, but still I can stand my ground. I can come up with my point. Yes, that person has already spoken my point, but I can make my point in my own terms. I can speak. I can make a point. I can make my own sentence. That's what you are trying to project here. So you can also disagree. You can say, I disagree with Mr. Praveen. What he said is totally wrong, because then you can come up with a point. That's what I said a little while earlier. We are talking about something where how will you build on points, right? So you have to have the ability to lie convincingly. Yes, ethically, morally, what I am saying right now doesn't go well. But then I'm sorry to say, corporate world is not always ethically, morally right. So they look at your convincing abilities, negotiation skills. These are the skills that they are looking at, for which you can at times go below the belt and try and be that little edge. You can use those edge and score a point here or two. But then that should not be your dominant attribute. You can use it then and there. All right. Anything else? Yes. Hmm. Your objective is for yourself, Kathy. Your objective is not for others. See, I understand your point of view. That is a concern kind of a view. But then this can happen to you also, Kathy. Someone else, you spoke your point, and someone else can disagree with you and point at you and say that I don't agree with that point, right? So you can be polite about it. You know how to be polite. I don't have to teach you how to be polite. I'm only saying that be professional, right? So when you're professional, nothing is personal. You don't go personally attacking someone else. You're only saying that I don't agree with that person's point. Whatever that person says, I don't agree. You don't have to say that that person is wrong, right? I will say that. I will definitely say in a group discussion that sorry, you're wrong, sir, because but then I'll have to be in a position to convince others about what I believe in. If you think that is little offensive, then you can only say I sorry, I don't agree with you, or I disagree with you. You can go like this, but then be polite is different. But then disagreeing with someone is not always wrong, is never wrong. Argument is something which is beautiful. Trust me, if we start arguing here, um, I would love to argue throughout the day. But then ensure that you too should not take it personally. Okay, so the other person is making a point, trying to convince the person who's conducting the group discussion that she or he is better than you, Kathy. That's what their objective is. Kathy, your objective is you need to prove to the person who's conducting the GD that you are better than the others. So here you can't think about friends. You can't think about how to help each other. You will help yourself, Kathy. Others will help themselves, and that is being professional. Objective in your mind. All right. Anything else? Let it be awkward. Khatija, let it be awkward. The only thing is just be, have a smile in your face, that goes a long way. Have a body language that is not aggressive, right? At the same time, it can be laid back approach as well. You'll have to be, there on that spot. You'll say, I have a point. I'm sorry, I totally disagree. You can say that, but you can't just, hey,